Today we'll be just speaking with Pascal to learn a bit more about Jarvis Network, their stablecoin issuer, Syntherium, and their Forex on-chain called Jarvis Exchange. So we'll learn a bit more about how they bring on non-USD stables, similarly like us, and for everyone here to learn a bit more about Jarvis Network in general. And Pascal has kindly took his time out to speak with us, so that's great. And thanks for everyone else for coming on. And as always, like and retweet, get your friends on, and we'll just chill.
Fantastic. Sounds really interesting topic to delve into. And hopefully we'll get Pascal's mic to work soon and we can get the conversation rolling. Just to let everyone know, if you don't know me, I'm the community lead for Blue Jay Finance, and you'll be seeing a lot more of me on the spaces and on Discord as well. So just like to quickly introduce myself, just in case everyone's wondering what the hell.
Yeah, all good, man. And if the rest of you ever join our Discord game nights, which we do host occasionally,
Okay, I'm here.
Polaris will help out. Oh, hey, Pascal.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah, nice. And same here. Sound crispy. And I guess we can give everyone another minute, so we'll start at 9:08. And thanks again for coming on. And in a minute, I guess we can begin.
Yeah, my pleasure.
GM Pascal, welcome to the space. Thanks for coming on board. And yes, we can hear you loud and clear, my bro. Let's go. Can't wait to hear what you've got to say.
Super. Okay, so let's get started. On our side at Jarvis Network, we do non-USD stablecoins. I think that with Blue Jay, we have the same mojo, which is that we do believe that adoption will and have to come with and through non-USD stablecoins. We can't only rely on the USD. Even though we know that all the liquidity is around the USD, dollar and USD stablecoins. So we have designed our protocol in a way to somehow extract value or leverage from this USD supremacy. So the way it works, it's quite easy. When you want to buy a stablecoin from Jarvis, or when you want to sell a stablecoin to Jarvis as well, we don't use an AMM. There is no liquidity pool. Basically, what is happening is that you just convert our stablecoins for USDC. For example, if you have $1,000 of J Euro, which is our Euro stablecoin, you can convert it for 1,000 USDC, and vice versa. Of course, if you have 1,000 USDC, you can buy $1,000 of, for example, JCAD, which is our Canadian dollar. And because you can convert them without a price impact and without slippage, it has somehow the same liquidity as USDC. If, for example, you want to buy Bitcoin, what will happen is that we will combine two transactions. So first, we will burn the stablecoin. So if you had $1,000 of J Euro, they will be burnt, redeeming the USDC, so the 1,000 USDC, and then the 1,000 USDC will be swapped on an AMM for wrapped BTC. And doing that, we can basically swap any of our JFiat for any token with the same price impact as USDC. And one thing that is worth to mention, of course, this is a high-level overview of the protocol. There is an over-collateralization with USDC behind the scene and so on. But one thing that is interesting for us, Blue Jay and us, it's since you can convert them for USDC at the chaining price feed, they are mainly used for arbitrage. So when we work with another stablecoin issuer, what we do basically, we create a pool on Curve or Uniswap, doesn't matter. And the idea is that, of course, you have a model where you have arbitrager who can open CDP, close, they open it with you. But basically, to do arbitrage with us, when we create a pool together, if the price of one of your stablecoin is a bit below or above the peg, you can go through this pool to create an arbitrage with USDC. So for example, you can use USDC to buy your stablecoin, then you sell it for our stablecoin, and then you convert it for USDC and back and forth. So we can basically help our stablecoin projects to increase their peg, but also to increase their liquidity. Because again, since you can swap your stablecoin for our stablecoin, and then you can burn our stablecoin for redeeming the USDC and then buy Bitcoin or whatever. You can use us as a route to access the USDC liquidity. So this is basically how we've been working with other stablecoin projects. And I met with Sherry in Paris. So we discussed about your focus, or geographical focus. So we have mainly been working in Europe, but we would like to be a bit more present in Southeast Asia, elsewhere in the world. And basically, to work with you to create synergies, to create pools together, and on yield, of course, on the top of those pools. But also, to find the synergy to help with the peg and the liquidity.
Yeah, great. Thanks for sharing, man. And glad to understand how Jarvis Network works, how J fiats are collateralized. And yes, for Southeast Asia, I understand you guys around last year, October, you guys issued SGD, JSGD as well, and a bunch of other stable coins to build out the on-chain forex. And hopefully we can work together on Southeast Asian stable coins and its various use cases, which we are building out as well during this period of time prior to launch. And if you don't mind me asking, Pascal, just for everyone here to get to know you a bit better, how did you get into crypto and what were you doing prior to starting Jarvis Network?
So before I was very active in the Forex market. So I'm still doing Forex, but now it's on-chain. But I've been trading Forex for maybe 14 or 15 years. And the way I jumped into crypto, it was, I think, by hazard, like many people. It was in 2017. I was working on a trading platform for the Forex market, and just found out about crypto. It seems a funny product to trade. It was very volatile, and I wanted to see if we could connect this trading platform to an exchange, a crypto exchange, and we did it. And so I liked the idea to have one platform where you could trade Forex or stocks and also crypto. So back then we were using Poloniex. And this is basically how Jarvis was born. So of course now we don't do a trading platform or whatever. It went from there. And then I think we started the way Jarvis is today when DeFi started in 2019, when we started to see a bit more about synthetic assets launched by Synthetics. Of course, the DAI from Maker and so on. So this is basically the long story short.
Wow. Love the answer, and I'm really intrigued on your journey. And can I ask this question? As a professional trader, what were the nuances which you found in the industry, and what eventually inspired you to create a ecosystem towards stablecoins? Because there was, when you mentioned that time frame, there was other platforms as well. We started incorporating crypto as well onto their trading avenues. So what was that something extra which it pushed you towards creating your own?
Honestly, but since I've been trading for a while, I have always wanted to be on the other side. The house always wins, so I always wanted to have a broker. And I actually worked also in risk management. This is when I wanted even more to become a broker, because risk management, basically, when you're a broker, most of the time, you don't send the trades to the market. You keep them internally and basically you trade against your clients. And then you manage your exposure. So either you cover or not cover, it belongs to you, the choice to do it. So this is risk management. And so, I wanted to have this kind of business. And when we were doing this platform, at some point, you are like, oh, but wait, smart contracts are a pretty cool tool. It's actually a software and a blockchain is a backend. So why not recreating a broker, but on the blockchain using Ethereum as a backend, or even though now we're on Polygon and other chains, but using Ethereum as a backend, smart contract has basically all the software infrastructure. And this is when we decided to go from a trading platform to a broker on chain. But I think we are a bit too early for this broker. It was in 2019, so there was not side chains or layer 2. And for Ethereum, it was not very scalable. So the first project that we launched was actually a trading platform where you could leverage long short on Forex markets using DAI. But then, as I said, when DeFi popped up and we started to be a bit more interested into purely on-chain things like synthetic assets and so on, we spinned off to the stablecoins. It's many iterations. We didn't have all the ideas from day one. We just got inspired by the broker model to create our synthetic assets. Because as I said, when you buy and sell a synthetic asset on Jarvis, you buy and sell to and from the protocol. So basically the protocol is the counterparty. So we are short on euro dollar when you buy euro. we are short on CAD USD when you buy a Canadian dollar. So the protocol has to manage their risk. So it's exactly like a broker. And we took this model and we implemented it into the stablecoin scene.
Yeah, sorry, Polaris. Yeah, okay, nice. Thanks for sharing. And yeah, if you also don't mind us asking, currently what can people do with their J Fiats as a retail investor, and what protocols can I interact with for J Fiats?
So essentially, you can do two things. The first one is on and off ramp. So we have a partner with Montpellier. It's a Swiss entity, and it's a fiat to crypto non-custodial broker. So what does it mean? If you have fiat and you want to receive crypto directly on your Polygon address or Gnosis or whatever, they support multiple blockchains, you can go with them without going through a SEX. So for example, if you have euros and you want J euro on Polygon, you just go through them, you send them the euros by wire, and then they basically send you the J euro to your address. It could be your ledger, whatever. Of course, it works both ways, on and off ramp. So this has been used by more than 2,000 people since last year, 8,000 transactions. So it's more than 23 on and off ramp per day since we launched last year. And this is one of the main use cases for people to basically go on into DeFi or to go out of DeFi directly using their bank accounts without going through a centralized exchange. The second use case that we didn't develop much, but we start to do it now, it's credit without FX risks. So for example, maybe 2 years ago, I bought an apartment, but I borrowed dollar and I live in Europe. So I borrowed dollar and I swapped the dollar for euro and I bought the apartment with this. And unfortunately, the euro dollar went down. So my debt in dollar was still the same, but because I sold the dollar to buy euro, to basically repay my debt with euro, I now need more euros, something like maybe 10 or 15% more. So I was very lucky because at the same time my collateral went up. It was Bitcoin, but this is a big problem. So basically, the fact to have multiple stablecoins allows people from everywhere in the world to access on-chain credit without having to deal with the FX risk. So if you want to borrow money in Singapore, in Canada, in Italy, wherever, we even do Brazil and so on, you could use our stablecoins and then you can use our off-ramp to basically receive your cash. Of course, you can also do on-chain leverage and this kind of thing. And the third use case, it's what the one I described before. So it's yield. People can earn yield denominated in multiple currencies, so Swiss franc, Singapore dollar, and so on. And at the same time, we work with our stablecoin project, so for the peg and liquidity that I was mentioning before. So basically, yeah, with BlueJ, what I envision is to create pools with your stablecoins, so we can basically offer to both our communities yield in the currency that they want.
Yeah, that's great. And oh yeah, I do, other than fiat on and off ramp and helping other stablecoins get liquidity, I do see that you guys are partnering with companies like Request Finance and Superfluid. Is there any adoption in terms of real world use cases with payrolls and invoicing, I guess, for receiving payments? Yeah, go on.
Yeah, adoption is a strong word. We have decent volume. So, for example, I think Request has been used by maybe $600,000 or $700,000 worth of transactions. So, it's nice number. We are far from the millions. And Superfluid also. So basically, Superfluid, maybe not everyone knows, it allows you to stream money in real time. So instead of making a one-time payment like a salary, but instead of being paid at the end of the month, you are paid at each block. And it's very cool because let's say you work with people who are crypto savvy and they would like to do some yield farming and they work with you. So instead of waiting the month to earn to get their salary, basically each day or every week, they could take part of their salary and directly reinvest them. So we use Superfluid for that, for on-chain payment. And Request is used for on-chain one-time payment, so using invoices. We also do off-chain payments. This is very cool. It's not for everyone. It's only if you are a company. But let's say you are a company, and in your company, you have people who wants to get paid in crypto. So you can use Superfluid, or you can use Request. But then you have also people who maybe wants to be paid in fiat, or maybe you have to pay the hosting of your website in fiat as well. For example, if you're based in Singapore, maybe you have to pay in Singapore dollar. So what Montperin, our partner in Switzerland, can do, they can pay on your behalf. If you have an invoice in euro, Canadian dollar, Singapore dollar, or even Japanese yen, you send them the crypto and you send them the invoice and they pay on your behalf. So this is very cool. So in our company, for example, most of the people are paid in fiat. So we use Montperin in order to pay with the euro, but they receive euros. And the other one are paid using Superfluid or requests. So that's pretty cool free tools to cover all your needs, whether you want to be paid in a stream or once in a time using a request or using fiat directly.
Nice. And yeah, we did speak with Superfluid and Request Finance before. Really, what Superfluid is doing, streaming payments is really another, like something which not many people have tapped on, and the applications are really limitless. But yeah, glad to see you're working with them as well. And yeah, just curious for everyone here, how many currencies have you adopted so far for J Fiats? And what is your requirements, or what do you look at when you go ahead to adopt different currency?
I don't know the numbers, but it should be a bit less than 20. The requirement for now, it's mainly if we find a reason to launch a new JFiat. So, for example, I was not very focused in the Latin American scene, but then we started to have some community members from Brazil, Colombia, Mexico. And they helped me realizing that actually there is a market there. So we launched the Brazilian stablecoin. And we actually found out after launching it that Brazil is actually a very big market. So we're very happy to be there. We hired a community manager there also, who is helping us with everything from community management to biz dev in Brazil. Mexico as well. We partner with a company in Mexico to do fiat on and off ramp. And lately, Colombia. We have more and more people from Colombia contacting us. So we launched the Colombian peso. And the last company I spoke with, it's for tokenized real estate. So they would like to tokenize real estate in Colombia, and of course to use a Colombian stablecoin to collect, to pay the rent and this kind of thing. So basically, yeah, we try to see where there could be a niche for us, which means not really competition, and where we can develop our solution quietly without too much block, let's say. And of course, some demand. So, for example, from Africa, we have a lot of demand, mainly for the franc CFA, which is all the ex-colony from France. They have a currency pegged to the euro. So we try to work in Africa to launch something there. And lately, the last things that we look at, it's actually other stablecoin projects who found out what we do with the pull on curve to help with the peg and liquidity. And they want to launch a stablecoin, and they're like, hey, it would be cool if you can add a stablecoin so we can do a pool together. So the last one we did for that was a dollar from New Zealand. So basically, there is a TechMint company issuing NZDS, so New Zealand dollar fiat backed. And they wanted to create pools with us and this kind of thing. So we launched the JNZD after they contacted us. And this is what drives the launch of JFiat. But now we will soon transition from the way we work today to a more decentralized infrastructure. And after we will complete this transition, everyone will be able to launch a new JFiat, provided that there is a chaining price fit for that. So it won't be through our analysis or whatever. Anyone will be able to launch it. Of course, it has to be approved by the governance, but it's just this.
Polaris, you got something to ask? Your hands raised.
Yeah, thank you, Blue Jay. Pascal, quick question. Like in your journey towards getting different currencies and maneuvering through different geopolitical factions, what advice would you give Blue Jay in terms of the difficulties or barriers to entry which you face, which might give us a better understanding of the environment which you're currently in?
That's a very good question because, we saw that we struggle in some currencies and we don't struggle in others. My advice would be to focus on one or two currencies that you really know and where your community is. For example, for us, it's without a doubt the euro and the Swiss franc because we are based in Europe, because I'm French, because my community is mainly with French-speaking people. And even though we pushed all the currency, the one that really took off was the euro and the Swiss franc. now the Brazilian currency also is starting to do some ways, but this is because we found the good people and partner in Brazil to develop it. So I would say that Brazilian stablecoin, euro and Swiss franc are our three top currencies, and it's very hard to develop all the other ones. And what helped them a lot is because with euro we have yield with many other issuers. So we reached out to our community. So it was very cool for co-branding and so on. Because of course we had the fiat on and off ramp. Because I could speak easily to French-speaking people and in Brazilian people. So yeah, what I would do is to really identify the big part of the community, the one that could be the most loyal, that would use you the most, to work with our stablecoin issuer, and of course to focus on a very good fiat on and off ramp. And that's pretty much it. And of course to have decent peg and liquidity. But yeah.
Thank you very much for that answer. Makes complete sense.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. And yeah, I understand. So basically, you bring on any currency as long as there's demand or there's some form of feedback that tells you, and also based on your familiarity with the various people in this space. And yeah, I guess next question I have is, you did say earlier that when people do bring on USDC and they mint the various currencies, you're technically long USD and short every other currency. You did mention you're doing some stuff to hedge that. Are you able to share what are the strategies you're carrying out to hedge this exposure?
Yeah. So first you have to understand a bit the way it works. So again, I will give a high level overview. So you need liquidity provider. Liquidity provider, they deposit USDC into a pool. Let's say that a liquidity provider deposits 10,000 USDC. Then when someone wants to buy $1,000 of J Euro, they will send 1,000 USDC to this pool. So this pool now holds 11,000 USDC. And the 10,000 initially deposited and the 1,000 from the buyer. Then the pool mints, because it's the pool who mints, the $1,000 of J Euro and send them to the user. So from the user perspective, it was a swap. They send USDC, they receive J Euro. But from the pool's perspective, it was a CDP. So they took the money of the user, the 1,000 USDC. Then the 11,000 USDC were used as a collateral to mint the J Euro, and the J Euro was sent to the user. So they minted and shorted J Euro versus USDC. And now the J Euro is over collateralized with 11,000 USDC. So of course, more and more, if more people mint, the collateral ratio will decrease up to a certain level where no more mint is possible. So for example, it could be 110%. If there is just 110% of collateral ratio, then no more J Euro could be minted, for example. So then the pool, so the liquidity provider, has a short exposure. So they could hedge in a few different ways. They earn trading fees and they also earn yield on their collateral. So the USDC is actually deposited into Aave and generate yield. So this yield could be used to offset some of the loss that may occur by the price of euro dollar going up. The other way to hedge, it's either to use on-chain tools. So on Polygon, you have, for example, against a network where you can access leverage forex entirely on-chain, but also you can use some off-chain products. So for off-chain, there are two venues that I used to work with. So the first one is called Quant Fury. It's a mobile application, very, very well done, where you can deposit USDT, for example, or other crypto, and you use those crypto as collateral to access to a credit line, so trading line or trading power, and you can trade again with leverage, forex, and other currencies. So we can also use this for hedging. The other one is a regular CFD broker, which also accepts cryptocurrency. So you have, for example, Trade.io, which is a Sinvencent-based broker. You also have SimpleFX, but I use Trade.io more because they use MetaTrader platform. And some tools that I'm using only works with MetaTrader. And that's pretty much it for the hedging. And the way I hedge, I try to don't try to to do it too often. So I just look at very long time frames, like monthly, weekly, and I try to see what is a trend and whether it is a downtrend or lateral markets or range or an uptrend. And if it's a downtrend or if it's a range, I don't hedge, and I prefer to wait for the yield and the trading fees to cover any potential risks. But if we start an uptrend on those high long-term time frame, then we open a long position to hedge the exposure that we have. And when I say we, it's because we are a liquidity provider, but it belongs, of course, the choice to each other liquidity provider to either do the same or to don't do anything. But if they don't do anything and the price of euro goes up against dollar, then they may lose money or be liquidated. So far, since we launched, we are very lucky because we launched the protocol in February 2021 on Ethereum, and then in October on Polygon. And since February, the rate euro dollar is constantly going down. There was no uptrend on weekly and monthly time frame. So we basically almost never have to hedge euro dollar, and we are very lucky with the price going down.
Okay, yeah, thanks for sharing. So there is a mechanism to ensure that all J fiats are all over collateralized and plenty of hedging strategies from you farming on Aave and such. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And yeah, another thing I would like to ask is what other companies are you approaching to adopt J fiat? Maybe just curious, market makers looking to hedge their positions in various currencies, or yeah, just curious, or maybe just shooting out in the dark, maybe adopting your J fiats for real asset lending pools. Yeah, what are you looking towards?
So we don't have a market maker who contacted us. Recently, we had a company doing payment using crypto. For example, yesterday, someone popped up in our Discord and said that they are now using JFiat to help people booking their hotel. Maybe just in Europe, I have to double check, but yeah, you can book hotel with JEuro, for example, or JCAD and so on. We have someone who built a marketplace where you can buy merch using JEuro, and soon they will add Amazon gift card and this kind of thing. So yeah, many stuff related to payment. I mentioned before the tokenized real estate. So yeah, this is the thing that come often. And the other thing that come very often is it's credit. So for example, interestingly, the most requests that we had, it's a company from UK. Always the same. It's company doing tokenized of real estate or debt or something, and they would like to be able to borrow against that in GBP, and then to off-ramp in pounds, basically using our off-ramp solution. We never did anything with them because they are very big companies and they will need for us to be ultra scalable. And for now, we can't process so much in terms of volume. So far, we didn't do anything yet. But yeah, those are the most, let's say, requested company to work that would like to work with us. And of course, wallets. So for example, there is one wallet in wallet broker, let's say. So one wallet in Switzerland is called OnDeFi, OnDeFi. And basically they take many different Lego. So they took Paraswap, they took Montperin, our partner, they took Jarvis and so on. They put all of this under one simple user interface. And they say, okay, look, now we are a non-custodial broker with a wallet. So basically, you can create a wallet using Magic. Magic, it allows you to connect using your social login like Google, Facebook, and so on. So you just go there, you connect using Google, and you have access to an interface where you can, for example, buy JEuro with euros using Montperin. And then when you receive the JEuro, you can buy, for example, Bitcoin or Matic using Paraswap. But again, they hide all the complexity under the hood, and that's all. So this is also something that very often companies doing this kind of solution contact us to work with. And of course, the other stablecoins issuer, as I mentioned before, to create pools on Curve together.
Okay, yeah, thanks for sharing. And yeah, I guess I'm down to my last few questions. For anyone else in the spaces right now, if you have a question for Jarvis, kindly just press the bottom right hand corner, that comment button, and yeah, you can tweet your questions, or you can just request to speak. Yeah. So I guess my next few questions are for Pascal. Are you guys also? Wait, sorry, give me a moment. Yeah, I guess for you, what are you interested to see in crypto in the coming months? And yeah, I guess Ethereum's merge is also coming soon. So any comments on that as well?
Yeah, we are not on Ethereum, so Of course, we are concerned by the merge. Like,
Okay.
no, I try to bridge back many assets from Polygon and Arbitrum and so on to get the somehow airdrop of ETH to have the double ETH. But no, what I would expect in the future, it's maybe a bit more solution with for payments, payment card and this kind of thing using non-USD stablecoins. And that's all. And I hope to see more non-USD stablecoins, to work with more non-USD stablecoin, and to really show that yes, maybe the USD stablecoins so far has been the one who succeeds the most, and 96 or 99% of the stablecoin market is USD. But I think it's Sherry who sent this, who wrote this yesterday, or on directly on the Blue Jay Twitter, that 96 or 99% of the stablecoin are USD, but 96% of the users are outside of the US. And I think this is a very strong sentence that clearly shows that where we are heading, basically.
Yeah, I love that. And I did pin the tweet as well. It was said by both Sherry and also our COO, Jeff. Yeah, like what you said, over 96% of stablecoins are currently denominated in USD, but 96% of the population lives outside. So, yeah, definitely for crypto to have more adoption, we definitely need to have currencies that interfacing with non-USD, especially Southeast Asia, where I guess for DeFi it has a stronger use case because it helps those with just a mobile phone and an internet connection to gain access to financial services. But yeah, thanks for saying that, Pascal. And yeah, all the best to ETH Merge as well. We are also hosting, like physically in Singapore, there's a lot of people hosting physical events for the merge, or to just sit and wait to watch Ethereum and see how that goes. Yeah, are you doing anything for Ethereum merge day?
It will be very early in the morning here. I will pass and we won't do an event for that. But yeah, as I said, only things that we do and that we said to the community is, hey, don't be scared if you see that the liquidity for our token is drying up on Polygon or so on. It's just because we are just putting back everything on Ethereum. But yeah, we will bridge back everything after the merge, and then that's all.
Understand. Yeah, and I guess last question from me. Are you also going for token 20?
No, the next event we will attend to will be in Portugal. I think it's Web3 Summit in November, and then we will wait next year to attend to more events. But we also attend to some event in Mexico. But it's the person with who we work there who is attending to those events.
Okay. But yeah, hope to see you at the one at Portugal. And yeah, Polaris, you have a question?
Yeah, thanks, Blue Jay and Pascal. Really enjoying your answers. Just a quick question. I know that you're based in Europe, so in Europe we've got a lot of AML processes. So with the Swiss franc, when you establish and the entities you're dealing with, I know you mentioned a process where they send you your bank details, and that obviously deals with that. But if you're like going to be running a decentralized protocol, or where you don't interact directly with the bank details, how do you circumvent the KYC AML regulations?
Two things. First, since we spoke about the fiat on and off ramp, the company we work with is in Switzerland, which is not part of the European Union, so they have their own regulation. So in Switzerland, you are not legally obliged to perform KYC. AML, you can do it automatically. There is no deep KYC or AML procedure under a certain threshold. So for example, we don't need a KYC if you buy for less than 1,000 Swiss francs per day, 15,000 Swiss francs per month, and 100,000 Swiss francs per year. Above those thresholds, of course, you are required to pass a KYC, and sometimes the KYC can be a bit, let's say, bigger if it's for a large amount of money. So this is the first thing. The second thing, us as a protocol, in theory, we are not really concerned because we are just a technology provider. We don't have clients, we don't hold any customer funds, we don't deal with that. It's other people, other company who are using what we are done to provide services. So for example, Montpellier, the Swiss entity, we have no tie to them. They just are a liquidity provider of our stablecoin against fiat. So they have to deal with all the regulations and so on. And the wallets that have integrating us in the future with the regulation in Europe, they will be obliged to also perform KYC and AML on their users. Even though they could be non-self-hosted wallets, we still have to see how the regulation will be concerning those wallets. So again, the wallet provider and so on who would like to integrate us or who has integrated with us, they most likely will need to go over this. So again, us as a protocol, we shouldn't be concerned. I said shouldn't because in the eyes of the regulator, they are not educated yet. So they don't know what's the difference between a protocol, a wallet, or whatever. They just saw that we are the developer, we have launched and whatever, there is no QoS. And so they could ask us to do some stuff. So we'll see in the future, but it's very important for us to try to don't have contact with, again, customers and just be a tech provider and provide infrastructure for wallet and this kind of project.
Brilliant answer. Thank you. And yeah, it makes sense because I totally agree with you in terms of uneducated regulator. But as far as us as service providers are concerned, we need to do our due diligence and have our strong standing in terms of our stance towards how we are approaching the issue. Yeah, so makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, most important is to let projects integrating you and deal with all of those things, and you two don't have customers or this kind of thing.
Yeah. Thanks, Polaris, for the answer, and Polaris for the question, and thanks, Pascal, for the answer. For anyone else in the spaces who has any questions for Pascal and Jarvis Network, kindly request to speak, or you can send your questions to the comments at the bottom right-hand corner. Yeah, we'll give them a few seconds, and if there's no questions, we can end it around here. Pascal, thanks for making time for this spaces as well. I understand you're moving around quite a bit recently.
Yeah, I'm traveling back to France. If there is no question, I can add one thing about the synergy with BlueJ. So
Sure.
as I said, we are mainly focused in Europe and Latin America, and you start to be focused on the Southeast Asia. So our idea there is we are not there, we don't know anyone there, so it doesn't make any sense for us to try to acquire users and this kind of thing in Southeast Asia. The best thing we can do to participate to the booming Southeast Asia scene is to do pools with stablecoins focused on those areas and to help with the liquidity and peg. And this is what we would like to do with you. It's so you can develop your ecosystem, fiat on and off ramp, payment solution, and everything. And in your routes and your journey, we could help a bit on the liquidity, the peg, and the yield. And this is what I would like to do with BlueJ.
Yeah, definitely. We can definitely speak more on this. And thanks, Pascal, so much for your bullishness in Southeast Asia. And yeah, we definitely have the groundwork and the network of protocols and founders in this space in Southeast Asia to have a better understanding of how to bring crypto adoption here and grow accordingly. And hopefully we can work together on this as well. We do need the liquidity, so yes, definitely can discuss further. But yeah, thanks a lot, Pascal, for mentioning it again. And yeah, if everyone else, if there's no more questions, kindly just check out Jarvis Network. Go over to their Twitter and join their Discord. You can join ours as well to learn more about our push for Southeast Asia for non-USD stables. And have a great evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are. And thanks, Pascal, for your time again. And thanks, Polaris, for the amazing questions and your vibes.
Thanks a lot, everyone, and see you very soon.
Yes. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Take care.
Yeah. Bye, Polaris. Bye, Pascal. And thanks, everyone, for your time.
Bye, guys.